2011. It will be 10 years after the first special session, so it's UNGASS plus 10. The other factor is that we will have a sad anniversary next year. It will be the 30th anniversary of the epidemic, counting when it was first identified, if you will, in 1981. So that's another thing. So there will be a lot of focus on this issue next year. Next week there will be a Millennium Summit here in New York. So for 3 days, leaders, and we have heard that all 191 countries will be represented. And I can't remember the exact figure, but I think 64 or so heads of state will be, and another 42 or so heads of government. So it's very high level. Prior to this meeting taking place, there had been a series of very intense negotiations, and there have been several civil society gatherings talking about what we can push to get into this. It's not a declaration, it's a resolution. Also in Vienna there were discussions. There has been some anxiety that things will kind of disappear because it is about all Millennium Development Goals. HIV is one, it's number 6. Very importantly though, you have, as you know, number 2, no, you have 4 and 5, and you have number 3 if we talk about gender equality and so forth. So the issue was, could there be a way to kind of find ways where next week, in what they will adopt as a resolution, that there is something that's solid enough for us to have a very good hook in preparing for 2011, because 2011, that's an AIDS meeting, that's a requirement, a commitment on AIDS. But to push this even broader, so to speak, within the whole development agenda, we were hoping that the document next week would have some very strong language. So I don't know if anyone, have you seen the latest version that has been agreed? Because just last week, this document was agreed by all member states here, and this is the one that's official on the website with the logo. This is the one that will be on the table, and we've had several discussions. And to let you know that in addition to, prevention, treatment, care, and support, human rights, tools for prevention, they mentioned microbicides, vaccines, and so forth. Sorry? Yes, and mother-to-child transmission, and also, very importantly, the linkages between primary health care, sexual and reproductive health. That's one thing that we wanted to really ensure. We have the hooks here, and this is very important, because there could have been a document with maybe one paragraph about HIV, one about sexual reproductive health, one about gender, and so forth. So this is very good, because this is likely to be adopted. So what does that mean for next year? A few weeks after this summit circus is over, then the General Assembly will have to discuss and adopt a resolution that will decide when exactly this will take place. It's very likely it will be in June of next year. Usually it's like in the middle of June. That's likely. It's not for certain, but I do believe that that will be the case. And this is really important now, because that we will feed the two facilitators. They will have to produce a very rough draft like this. And this is where all of these different pieces will have to be outlined, including how do we report, how do we monitor from now on, leading up to, let's say, June, when this is prepared, to take all of these questions very seriously and kind of analyze what would we like to propose through then the two facilitators. So that's what will happen. The two other very important pieces. Number one, should that document specify whatever it might be, this will happen by 2015. Because 2015, as you know, that's kind of the deadline for the Millennium Development Goals. But then the question is, should we take the opportunity in 2011 to look beyond 2015? Because it's probably safe to say that the epidemic will not be over in 2015. So there would be a need to have some specific actions that relate to HIV, that relate to the linkages with gender equality, sexual reproductive health, human rights, financing, and so forth, even beyond this. I think I'll stop here for now.
Do you think that you have more strategic information to give us?
How high level will be this 2011 meeting based on that change in terms of priorities, and what are the challenges that you see?
What will happen, if I speak for UNAIDS, is that we are requesting a meeting right after the summit is over next week. We have already talked with the Swiss, with the incoming presidency. We spoke with them in June already. We will meet with them, and they already asked for information. And also a good thing that I want to share with you is that I think it is in the next few days, the new Swiss president of the GA will meet with Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General, and we were asked to provide some talking points for the Secretary General regarding important priorities for 2011, the year of the Swiss presidency.